If it's Monday night, say yeah for It's Ridiculously Raw. Hello, friends. Anthony Flair here with you for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. And before we start, we want to dedicate this edition of Raw tonight to the victims and the families affected by the disgusting and heinous tragedy that went down in Las Vegas, Nevada, as first reported by Michael Fletcher on his Facebook page, late last night. So this show is for you, and we hope that it will lift your spirits, and hopefully it will take your mind off of the heinous events of today. So this is all for you guys. And we hope that we can put a smile on your face and entertain you in the best way we can. So this show's for you guys. So we're thinking of you. I am your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyer here. I've got good old MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk. We got the first angel, the Twisted Angel, Dee Whitson, the first lady of the Wrestling Forum, and I'm not sure about Michael Bullock. I haven't heard from him. I'm not sure when he'll be here, but I'm sure he will be here at some point. So hopefully we'll get him in here soon enough. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in. Of course, Monday Night Raw was live tonight from Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. You may have noticed a change in the commentary. Voice of SmackDown Live was sitting in tonight from Michael Cole, who was in attendance for his son's wedding and couldn't make the show. So for only the second time in his 20-year career with WWE, Michael Cole actually taking a week off. So that shows you how much of a workhorse Michael Cole is. So anyways, let's dive right on in. And wow, I can't believe I'm saying this, but almost each and every week, Monday Night Raw always starts off with what I call a windbag talking segment. Well, not tonight. We actually started off with a match for once, and a good one at that. Seth Rollins, the Kingslayer, going up against the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Raw. Wish Michael Bullock was here because he and I do that better than anybody. Nonetheless, winner of the match in 10.5 minutes, Braun Strowman. Strowman wins with the power slam, and then after the match was over, the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, attacking Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose showed up, and Strowman got to him too. So, okay. I probably would say this was the second best fight of the night, maybe 2.5 to 3 stars. More Strowman destruction coming out of his loss to Brock Lesnar at No Mercy. The finish was expected, but the most compelling part of this that Strowman allowed Sheamus and Cesaro to pass by him, which led me to believe that the theory that I came up with last week regarding the Shield reuniting to face Strowman, Cesaro, and Sheamus is in play. Far more, which I feel was far more compelling to me than a reunited Shield against the Miz Taraj. So, but yeah, we're gonna have more on that in a little bit regarding our other big main event. But nonetheless, this was a solid match, and Rollins got a good match out of him, and I felt it was solid and good action throughout. But Strowman, I'm glad that they're still keeping Strowman. I'm glad they're still high on him. They easily could have ignored him after feeding him to Lesnar at No Mercy, but thankfully they still have plans for him. That's good. So 2.5 to 3. That's the best I can go for this. It's the second best fight of the night. The other big main event, we're gonna have a whole lot to say about that. Good things, I should say. So with that being said, 2.5 to 3, second best fight of the night. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. You were the one who, you first reported what happened in Las Vegas
Yeah.
late, during the overnight hours on your Facebook page, and I got a word of it. We all got a word of it, and and I know you you and Dee Dee feel the same way I do, and Derek was the one who posted the Wrestling Forum page that we dedicate this show to them tonight, and your thoughts on Strowman and Rollins. It's not often we get to start off Raw with a match, but in this case we did. Good.
I'm actually glad that we actually did start off with a match, because I think with everything that's been going on, I think it just needs to be addressed. I like that Raw's doing something different. And, they tried to do something that would please the crowd. And they actually gave us the supposed main event right out of the gates, which was Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman. This was the fight that we were excited for. This was the fight that we were advertised about. So we got it, at least we knew about this 1 week in advance, but to give it to us right away, to have that start the show, that was actually really cool. I actually like that. Mad props to WWE for doing that. It was at least a 2.5-star fight. I'll give you that. Solid action, good match, but it does keep Strowman strong. It keeps Strowman as that monster that you wanted. It is a little bit more telling that, we had Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar, show up. They jumped them, and maybe that might be the route that they go. I don't know. I mean, like we said, right now it's kind of a little up in the air about how this is going to play out. You don't know if it's going to be the Bar and Strowman against the Shield, or the Miz Taraj against the Shield. Both stories are very wide open. Maybe they might have them deal. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. But as far as my feelings for Vegas, I'd rather hold that off till possibly towards the end of the night tonight, when I do my shout outs, because there's a few things I want to get off my chest before I do that tonight. So I rather save it to the end, and I'll give you my feelings and my sentiments about it at that point. Dee Dee Woodson, come on in, my dear. Let's talk about the match. And if you feel like talking about the thing in Vegas, or if you want to wait till later in the night, then I completely leave that to you, love.
Yeah, this was definitely different, having the match at the beginning of the show and not a talking segment. Glad it wasn't a talking segment. Those get old, boring after a while, stale. The match was fresh. It was, just something that just made the show, that much better, having something other than Miz running his mouth. Usually that's how it starts, is with Miz running his mouth. But as far as having Rollins versus Strowman, I thought actually that should have been probably later on in the night than to actually start the show. But hey, it is what it is. It still was a match. It still was a good, strong start, with lots of action after the match. Although I think it's time that Sheamus and Cesaro moves on. Hopefully this will be the last time we see them going after Rollins and Ambrose. Although later in the night, we'll talk a little bit more about these 4 competitors. So as for Las Vegas, sad tragedy. Shouldn't have happened, but did. But if you've kept track of all the support going on online, this is a country community. The country music community just is very strong about protecting their fans, and no different with this one. Jason Aldean is a Christian singer, and here all his country brothers have come together. I mean, we were watching something earlier today. You know, Garth Brooks standing behind all this and trying to give support to Las Vegas. So this is a time the nation's all going to come together, just like we have with the hurricanes. Just like Oklahoma did with the Oklahoma City bombing, New York did with the trade towers, and all the other areas that hit with 9/11. It's these things that prove that America is strong, that we are going to support ourselves when it comes to helping out our other fellow Americans in times of need. And this shooting as no matter how tragic it is and no matter how stupid the guy was that did it, we're still going to come in and we're going to support the families. We're going to, I'm sure they'll have some sort of a benefit concert to help the families. These kind of things is natural. It's stuff that we do just to, not only for the rest of the country to show support to the ones that lost their family members, but to show that we are still a strong nation no matter what the tragedy is that comes in, whether you're from overseas as a terrorist or in country as an in-country terrorist. It's going to happen. America's strong enough that we will stand together, and we'll be strong on the end on all this. So enough said. I toss it to you, Florio.
And it's a good idea that MF came up with. You know how MF and I, we always do certain things. We put our heads together for certain things, and MF just gave me a wonderful idea when it comes to the end of our show. He wants to do something special for them in the shout out. Well, I want to do something special myself. So MF and I, we're on the same mindset on this. So, but before we get to that, let's continue on here. And one other quick thought about what we just witnessed with Strowman and Rollins in that opener. It is a 3-star match. Good. It was a good match. They played the size dynamic well, and that's basically all that happened. So, good job, guys. Second best fight of the night. Of course, What's a Ridiculously Raw without cutouts, and we had a cutout here. A match that I absolutely had no desire to see whatsoever. Elias against Titus O'Neil. Elias wins in 3 minutes. Worst fight of the night. No rating. Dud. Not good at all. And then we had the first of 2 women's matches on the night. Mickie James went up against Nia Jax. Mickie James wins 9 minutes and 45 seconds via a disqualification. Alexa Bliss got involved and the whole 9 yards. And then there was a backstage moment. Mickie James, of course, as you all know, it's well documented. MF has had a thing for Mickie James for as long as I can remember, for the last 12 years or so. And I know he still does to this day. Had a backstage interview with, one of my favorite girls, Charlie Caruso. Hey, we had a nice little moment between the two, nice little interview there. And then Kurt Angle came in, and Kurt Angle announced that at the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view, Mickie James will challenge Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I know you guys probably don't want to get into the match. That's more than fine. But if you want to get into, if you want to give like a quick thought about Mickie James being the number 1 contender, what do you guys say?
I say it's about damn time.
Right?
She's been working so hard in the business, never got an opportunity to get a shot at this, and now she is. I'm glad that WWE is doing this. I'm glad that they're pulling the trigger. I'm glad that they're giving the veterans, the people who've busted their butts, who've worked their rear ends off, who I believe are the most deserving of getting this opportunity. So I'm thrilled that Mickie James is doing it. We always talk about how getting a fresh face in the title picture. I mean, there's nobody who's more fresher right now than Mickie James. I mean, it doesn't matter. And I love the fact that they finally are breaking away from that cycle of either Bayley getting the chance or Sasha Banks getting the opportunity. I would have been thrilled if it would have been Emma. I would have been thrilled if it was Nia. I'm thrilled it's Mickie James. She deserves it. She hasn't really gotten that many opportunities since being on being on this path and the whole 9 yards. So for me, this was a great moment. This was a great decision, and I got nothing bad to say about it. I'm absolutely thrilled, and I can't wait to see her get her opportunity at the title. So yeah, this is gonna be great. So excellent job.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's about time. Not only we're giving the veterans a chance to shine, but we're also getting a fresh face, as in even if it is a veteran, and someone who's been there for a while. We're still getting a different match. We're getting a different lineup here. We're getting something totally different than we've had in a while. So I'm glad to see her in there. I hope we do see 7 times with her. Not much more I have to say about it, so let's go on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you my thoughts on the match. I guess we're going to consider that a cutout. So I'll give you my thoughts on the match. Even though it lasted 9 minutes and 45 seconds, it was a 1-star match. It was not good. It was slow, repetitive, and sloppy at times. It was also poorly structured, and did nothing to dispute the claims that James was old and past her prime. She was dominated way too much. Plus, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax being friends again with no real explanation. That's it's a little dumb, if I'm going to be real honest with you. But I'm with you. Mickie James recently turned 38 years old. Male wrestlers don't put up with this nonsense at that age. I'm happy she's getting the spotlight again, but I hope it's not all about her age. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, you guys pretty much said it for me. Mickie James getting the title shot. I mean, yeah, the match was not good. I mean, the DQ finish was smart, but James did gain something by having Jax down. But Jax lost nothing since the match ended in a DQ, and Mickie getting the title shot. So that is absolutely well deserved. And as I recall, she's only had 2 championship matches since coming back to the WWE about a year ago. You remember last November at the NXT TakeOver Toronto event, she challenged Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship. And then from there, I think the only other championship opportunity she had was that multi-woman match at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship that Naomi went on to win in her hometown of Orlando. I'm pretty sure Mickie was one of the participants in that. So, but good. I mean, this is the match we've been wanting to see. We've been wanting to see Mickie James and Alexa Bliss one-on-one. Classic case of old school versus new school. The 38-year-old Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, the young misfit there. So we'll see what happens. So I can't wait. That should be one hell of a match at TLC, and we'll see what. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Asuka ends up being the next challenger, either in the case of Alexa Bliss, the next challenger, or the first challenger for Mickie James. But if I had to give an early projection I got this feeling that Alexa's going to go over, is going to successfully defend, and then Asuka's going to be next. And then when that happens, then Little Miss Bliss's reign will be over, and then the Empress of Tomorrow, they can start building Monday Night Raw around her, like they built NXT around her. I mean, having her hold the NXT Women's title for an unprecedented 523 days, unbelievable. So, alrighty, no cutout here, guys. We got a legitimate match here. Tag team matchup. A second week in a row, we get to see the team of Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. They squared off against the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And the winners of the match in about 11 minutes and 2 seconds, it was the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Magic Killer on Matt Hardy. Of course, Jeff Hardy went in for surgery. So, Didi Whitson, let's start it off with you here since MF, took the ball on, the thought about Mickie James. So, top 3 quality match as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I'm going to give it probably about 2.5 to 3 stars. We've seen this little mini feud going on with Gallo and Anderson and the Hardys for a while now, and now that Jeff's going to have surgery tomorrow, and they've had to throw in someone to replace him, and this is the second week in a row we've had Jordan step up, and as much as me personally, I would have loved to seen Matt and Jordan win, but it is what it is. Gallo and Anderson pulled it off. And, the match was very, very well done. I was very impressed with how they handled the situation. And so, yeah, this would definitely be one of the top 3 matches of the night. If you didn't watch Raw live, DVR it. If you DVR'd it, make sure this is one of the ones you watch, because they're literally tore the whole thing down. So it was good. So not much more I have to say about it. I'll toss it over to you.
Third best fight of the night for me. 2.5 stars, solid 2.5 stars. Strowman and Rollins is the second best with a solid 3. That's officially a solid 3. This was a solid 2.5. Perfectly fine match. Nothing wrong with the work technically, but it largely stayed a tone level and really did nothing to excite me or make me care, honestly. Even though I was very happy to see the Good Brothers go over, because they've been WWE has made them look like tools for the most part this year, and it's nice to see them actually pick up a win for once, and we'll see what happens with them going forward. So, and the Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan team, I mean, it's a lot like what we're seeing on SmackDown Live with Jordan's former partner in American Alpha, Chad Gable, with his work with Shelton Benjamin. So, putting a young upstart with a wily veteran. So, Gable and Benjamin, they're working, and Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan, I could get with this until Jeff comes back, until Brother Nero comes back, whenever that is. And from what I was hearing last week, the plan was not to make Jordan and Matt Hardy a regular team while Jeff is sidelined. So who knows if they were just killing time this week, or maybe there's been a change in plans. And maybe they're going to give Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan a bit of a tag team push. We'll see. But either way, it's logical to put the long-term tag team over, the Good Brothers in this case. So that's all I can say there. So well done. So 2.5 stars, third best fight of the night, MF. A rare win for the Good Brothers. About time those nerds put them over.
Yes. And I know somewhere a friend of mine who loves that nerd thing is probably going to be enjoying this tonight. It was definitely a good match. I liked what I saw. It's good to see that the Good Brothers got the opportunity, and yes, it's a good victory for them, and it gives them that that feeling, that sentiment, everything that's going on. And, we'll see what happens. It was definitely a 2-star fight, no doubt about that. One of the top 3 fights of the evening, which I'll give Didi on that as well. And nothing more to say. Let's just move on, guys. So, yeah, move on.
And we move on to a very special segment. As you know, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And they had what I considered a very nice and very not only wonderful segment, but a beautiful segment as well. Dana Warrior, as you know, the wife of the late great Hall of Famer, the Ultimate Warrior, who passed away just a couple days after WrestleMania 30 and after he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. She was there along with the entire Raw Women's division, and they gave special customized women's championship belts to three young ladies who were breast cancer survivors. And all I can say was far and away the segment of the night, and it was really a really touching segment, and really it was really nice to see that. I mean, it was one of the nicest things you'll ever see, and I know on behalf of MF and Didi, I know we're all in agreement. I know we don't agree on much, but I know this is something we all definitely agree on. This was the segment of the night, hands down.
I will go as far to say this: whenever WWE does a lot of these special, I guess, commemorizations or special moments like this, no matter if it's like Connor's Cure or the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, something like this is where WWE really shines more than anything else. To put something out in the forefront, to make it aware, and they're going to be doing this for the entire month of October. It doesn't not matter if it's on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, the upcoming pay-per-views. We are going to see a major influence of this. A lot of the wrestlers are going to be wearing pink. A lot of the outfits that they're going to have this is going to be more than anything else. And it's one of those things that we're going to see. It's really cool to have. There's really nothing more to say about it. But like I said, it's a heartwarming thing. It's a great thing. And yeah, so that's it for me. Nothing more to say.
Yes, absolutely. MF, you hit it right on the head. I know WWE takes a beating at times for certain things they do, but their charitable efforts, I mean, top notch. And you said it right. I mean, whether it's the Connor's Cure, the breast cancer awareness through the Susan G. Komen Foundation, or of course tribute to the troops, what have you, just awesome. And
And one other thing, and I just want to be brief about it. And I get it where a lot of people slams companies like Susan G. Komen and everything else, because there is a little bit of a backlash about it, because if you really sit down and read the fine print about what particular amount of the money goes for the actual cancer research, you're going to be shocked over some of that. I don't want to rain on the parade, and I'm not gonna, but go out of your way to at least read them. I mean, it is worth it. A lot of the percentage of the money does go for cancer research. However, it's not 100%. It is a portion of it, but one of my friends told me about this and opened my eyes to it. I will say this, that breast cancer is definitely something that needs to be eradicated, needs to be deleted. Man. But I do agree with that. And it's also an awareness for you know, the ladies out there, to get tested, have the mammograms done. I know. I think they said the core age is right around, I believe, 50, around like the 40-year-old range. Some have gotten breast cancer even younger than that. Um, but I will say to have it checked out, get tested. If you do have breast cancer, hopefully it's in the early stages. I know some celebrities were fortunate enough that they were able to get it. That if they did get it, they were able to get it early, detected, and they were able to survive this. And just note from here tonight on Monday Night Raw, we saw 3 survivors, 3 warriors, 3 fighters that beat it, and as thus was well deserving of the WWE Raw Women's title, and I would not be stunned or surprised if we see something like this tomorrow night on SmackDown Live, where we could see more survivors, and I think they will be presented with the SmackDown Women's title, as a token and as a appreciation and respect and love for these warriors, these fighters. As you know, Joan London, who was a cancer survivor, was actually the recipient of the Warrior Award about a couple of years ago. And I do believe that if you continue that path and that road, I definitely believe that that is a thing for the up and up. Like I said, a lot, and you even said it, Anthony. A lot of times WWE does not get any good light because of, you know, either from from the drug use to the steroids to just the quality of their TV programming way back when during the Attitude Era, because of the violence, the sex, the language that would have put off the average family. And then, of course, with some other stuff I'm not going to talk about because I'd rather not bring that elephant into the room tonight. But you know where I was going to go, Anthony. Um, but now you got these things that WWE wants to try to do that makes us feel good about them. Even though I know a lot of people don't like the product right now, either from the TV quality standpoint to the attendance at the arenas during the house shows, Raw, SmackDown, whatever. But when they do things like this, the Susan G. Coleman, or like any type of charitable event, and you talked about it, Anthony, that's where WWE kind of gets that good press, that good PR, that they say, hey, we get it, and the whole 9 yards. And I think that's the one thing they can do. Entertainment, but when you can go out of your way and really bring awareness for certain things to the world, I think that's the best way and the best motivator for us to be united. You know, a lot of the times it's tragedies that brings us together. But when it comes for causes, fundraising, things that we want to see that would hopefully someday we could see this get eliminated and beaten with the technology, the medicine, and with, you know, good doctors, like good brothers, like Anderson and Gallows would say, but good doctors. Um, from the medical field from around the world, if they can find something that would revolutionize and actually gives us a cause to say we have something where you will not have breast cancer ever again, or for that matter, cancer ever again, because I think we've all of us has had members of family that we've lost because of cancer.
I have.
I have as well.
And Meth, I'll tell you. You remember my Uncle Eddie's wife. You met her.
Yes.
My Auntie Anna.
Yes.
She lost her life because of breast cancer. St. Patrick's Day, 2010.
Yes. And that's why. That's why tonight, more than anything else, and for the next month, this is why WWE gets it. And I know the NFL will do this because they always do breast cancer awareness. I know Major League Baseball does it earlier in the year. I think they do it around Mother's Day weekend, where they do something for breast cancer. All sports gets it. And that's why I applaud what WWE is doing tonight and for the next month.
Great segment too. And
yes, excellent segment.
And notice, those weren't technically Raw Championship belts. That they were special, customized, pink women's championship belts.
And that's also the thing. I also got to give a lot of credit to the tailor. These were actually done from what they call Ringside Belts. Now, these are the companies that actually create the actual titles. These are the companies that's done belts for TNA. They've done belts for WWE. They've even done the championships for the UFC. So this was actually customized belts at a cost of over $50,000. So these belts are not cheap. These were customized belts that was tailored out by Ringside for $50,000 for these three amazing champions to get tonight. And that is, without a doubt, a round of applause and a tip of the cap, if I say something. Dee Dee Woodson, go ahead, my dear. It looks like you definitely want to get in.
Yeah, of course, being the only female panelist on here, this does hit very, very close to home. Because a couple of years ago, I did have a scare. Luckily, mine was just a cyst that was close to that area, but still, it was something that, scary enough to make you aware you need to do this. You need to be the ones to go out. This is coming from a 44-year-old woman. You need to, you ladies need to go out and have yourself checked out. Some doctors will check you out as early as 40. Some will make you wait till you're 45. If there's a history in your family, they will check you out sooner. If there's any signs of it, they will check you out sooner. But yeah, this was a tremendous thing. WWE with their cures or their causes like this, Connor's cure, teaming with Susan G. Komen, even doing the Make-A-Wish with their poster boy John Cena. I mean, every little thing that they do is relevant to that particular cause. And not only does it make you aware of what's going on, but it also, it gives the family of the survivors or of the sick kids hope. And seeing them do this, it is totally awesome. Florio's showing the pictures from tonight, but I think what hit me the first time that they did this was, John Cena coming out in the pink, wearing the pink shirt and, doing all that for the cancer awareness. And, you guys mentioned the other sports that do it. I mean, I've seen, I think both baseball and football actually put on some sort of pink in their outfits for that awareness. And yeah, it's usually I think baseball is usually around Mother's Day, since they don't usually play during, so I know they don't play during certain months. So Yeah, I mean, just speaking, as a woman, as someone who's been through this, if you're listening and you're in that age range, get yourself checked out. Make sure there's nothing wrong. Family, if you have family history, that I urge you more than anything, get it checked out, because no matter if there's history or not, it can hit you. It can hit you hard. I mean, I've had family who's died of many different kinds of cancer. In fact, my sister has late onset leukemia. We have I call her a family member. She's not really a family member. She's actually my sister-in-law's best friend, who its daughter is the stepsister to her daughter, that also went through breast cancer. Kevin's grandpa died of lung cancer. I mean, there's many different kinds of cancer. No, there's not awareness for a lot of them as much as there is for breast cancer, but every single one of these cancers needs to be addressed. For the guys, you guys can get prostate cancer. Get it checked out. If there's history of it or any signs that there's an issue, I urge you, go to your doctor, get it checked out immediately. Make sure there's nothing serious going on, because you never know, it could save your life in the end. So, enough said. I toss it to Anthony.
Yes, and you see the photo that I have. Those are the special customized pink women's championship belts that those three ladies were presented with tonight. Dana Warrior and the entire Raw women's division, and you know what was really great for me to see? It was so great to see, you know, all the Raw women's division out there, not in character, by the way, just as regular women. They came out there, they broke character, and they showed their support. And even Alexa Bliss, you one about Alexa Bliss, but she was out there. She had a big old, she was happy out there. She had a nice smile on her face. I mean, she, she looked. I mean, they were all. It was just a wonderful moment. So yeah. So if there's one thing that I strongly recommend from this show tonight, it's this segment. You gotta see this segment. This was wonderful. So Michael Bullock has just joined us, so we're gonna catch him up right now. So Michael Bullock, come on in. We're gonna get you caught up here, here on Ridiculously Raw. You see the moment there, that special moment that we have for the breast cancer survivors in the Raw Women's Division earlier. So just wanted to make sure that was brought to everyone's attention. So, all right, Michael Bullock, come on in. Time to get you caught up. First match of the night. It was our man, the monster among men, Braun Strowman, and he went up against Seth Rollins, and he beat Seth Rollins in 10.5 minutes. How about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it about 2.5 stars is my rating on the match. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I thought Seth Rollins was able to hang around with the monster among men, but of course our guy continues to dominate. So there's really nothing more to say. I'm just gonna move on.
Yes. Then there was a cutout. Elias Sampson over Titus O'Neil. Elias won that in 3 minutes. We're not going to talk about that. Mickie James over Nia Jax, 9 minutes and 45 seconds via DQ. We're not going to talk about the match, but Bullock, I want to get a quick thought. Kurt Angle, in a backstage segment with Mickie James and Charlie Caruso, announced that Mickie James will challenge Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at TLC in a few weeks. How about it?
Very interesting. I mean, I mean, here I thought it was going to be, Asuka against Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. Because remember, Asuka is going to be making her debut at TLC. So this comes as a little bit of a surprise, but maybe WWE feels like maybe they're giving her the shot maybe way too soon, since this will be her debut, and want to get her feet wet when she makes her debut. Maybe that's the only reason why I see her not getting the title shot right away. Even though both you and me, Florida, we want to see it, but
Yep.
But we'll just have to wait and see. So, I really got nothing more to say. So let's just move on.
And we move on to an interesting tag team match. Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan against the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And the Good Brothers actually win the match in 11 minutes and 2 seconds. So, what do you think of that? The Good Brothers actually getting a rare win.
Yeah, I mean, a nice win for the Good Brothers. I'll give it maybe about 2.5 to 3 stars. Is my rating on the fight. I mean, a nice win for the Good Brothers. Who knows? Maybe this will put them back in contention for the Raw Tag Team titles somewhere down the line. We'll just have to wait and see. So nothing else to say. I'm just gonna give it to you, Florio.
And then we just spent a good amount of time talking about the segment with Dana Warrior showing up with the entire Raw Women's division, presenting the special pink championship belts to 3 breast cancer survivors, and we all agreed it was automatically the segment of the night.
Oh yeah, definitely. This was the segment of the night. I mean, of course, it's the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and good to see those 3 breast cancer survivors get the recognition they deserve, especially by the wife of the Ultimate Warrior, Dana Warrior, and you saw the members of the Raw Women's Division in there.
All of them.
Huh?
All of the Raw Women's division.
Yeah, every single one of them. And of course, I told you guys the story about with my girlfriend's mom when she's a survivor of breast cancer. So,
It's God.
I mean, so many women have so many great stories, and I think this past weekend in Providence, I think they had the Gloria Gemma 5K run to help support breast cancer awareness. So, yeah, I mean, and of course, if you go to www.shop.com and you can get some of those shirts, and of course, all the proceeds go directly towards breast cancer awareness. So this is the one time you can get away with wearing pink. So, and for a good cause. So, definitely very touching. So,
This is also one time when real men wear pink.
Amen.
well, not just real men, but everybody, not just men, but of course the women as well,
Absolutely.
and children as well. So, basically just everybody. So, so nothing more to say. Let's just move on.
And we're gonna move on to the other big main event of the evening for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Bullock, you're all caught up, by the way. This is what we were going to get into next. Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns challenging The Miz. Winner of the match between 11 minutes and 5 seconds to 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Roman Reigns wins the match. However, it was via disqualification. Roman Reigns wins the match, but he does not win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus and Cesaro show up. And then The Bar and The Miz beat down Roman Reigns again. Roman gets beat down for the second week in a row. So that last segment was more of a free segment here. So all right, Didi, hurry back. Anywho, I'll start it off here. Maybe this way it'll give Didi some time. Despite the DQ finish, this was the fight of the night. 3.25 stars. I was going to give it 3.5, but I got to deduct a little bit because of the DQ finish. They were working their way to a very good match until the DQ. I think they were on their way to a very good and possibly great match when that happened. But thankfully, the post-match angle was very well done. And how about this interesting scenario for the TLC pay-per-view? For the TLC pay-per-view, I'm sure you all know Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, has not been advertised, and I don't think he's going to be advertised. Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say he's probably not going to work that pay-per-view. They need a main event for that pay-per-view. I couldn't think of a better main event than perhaps the most unique match that I could ever imagine. The Miz teams up with The Bar against the Reunited Shield with the Intercontinental and Tag Team Championships on the line. How about that for a scenario, huh? Feast on that for a minute. So, man, that would be something if they do that. But, so, it looks like it's going to be Sheamus and Cesaro teaming with Miz rather than teaming with Strowman. It's still a million times better than the Miz Taraj facing the Shield. And this IC title match was fun, and it was nice to see the Miz treated like a credible wrestler rather than as borderline jobber fodder for Roman. So even with the DQ finish, this was still for me the fight of the night. It would have been 3.5, but it's 3.25. Normally we frown upon DQ finishes, but I think this is one time I think we can make an exception because it was a well done angle, and it's definitely setting up what's going to be, I think, an epic match at TLC. If they leave the titles out of it, I could see this being just like the Shield's first match on pay-per-view, a 6-man tables, ladders, and chairs match. I could definitely see that, and if they do that, we're in for a classic chock full of Shakespearean drama at its finest. Because when they went up against Ryback and Team Hell No at the 2012 TLC event, that thing was a damn near 5-star classic. So, and featured one of the greatest bumps of all time when Rollins took that sick bump. You know the bump I'm talking about. So, 3.25 stars, fight of the night, no question about it. MF, what do you think about it? What do you think about all this? What do you think about that little scenario I just came up with?
I agree. Fight of the night, first of all. 3 stars, I'll give that. This was a great battle. This was a great fight. This was solid. Yeah, you got to kind of diss and say what the bleep about the DQ. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to go too hardcore about it. But I definitely see a very good storyline that you brought, and that I could see could be a great main event or a great matchup. Yeah, if they decide to do a Shield thing and the full Shield reunion and do a TLC table, ladder, and chair fight, you will hope it would be with The Bar and Braun Strowman. Because I would not be too enthused to see it be with the Miz Taraj. Now, if they do decide to pull the trigger and do The Bar and Strowman, now you might have something really special on your hands. But we'll wait and see what happens. But I agree with everything you said, Florio. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll say it 3.25 stars. This was the fight of the night here, no doubt about it. Even with the DQ finish, yeah, I mean, I like even though I don't like the DQ finish, but this definitely served its purpose, and I think it's definitely going to lead to a Shield reunion where against the Miz and Sheamus and Cesaro. I think that's going to happen as well. And yeah, you make an interesting point there, Florio. That's an interesting scenario. I mean, will they actually do it? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, but either way, this was the fight of the night. 3 to 3.25 stars. Didi Woodson, if you're back, let's get your thoughts. If not, I guess not. So, Florio, I think we should just move on.
Man, I thought we could have taken up enough time to get Didi back in, but yeah, no worries. We'll just keep a lookout for her when she comes in. So yeah, so I hate to say it, MF, but I think it's going to be the Miz in the bar going up against the Shield with the way they're booking it. I'd rather see Strowman myself, but I don't know. We'll see. So that being said, let's just move on. We had another meh segment with Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. I have no idea why they're still feuding, other than to fill time. But, even though Balor cut a solid promo, they've done a great job of making me not interested in the guy. Can't believe I'm saying that, even though I love Balor, I really do. But Bray Wyatt brought up Sister Abigail, but correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Randy Orton burn the soul of Sister Abigail when he burned down that shack on that SmackDown Live earlier this year before WrestleMania? I can't keep up. Hey, at least his babbling earlier appears to be leading to something. So I'm not going to waste these guys' time on that. So with that being said, just keeping a lookout for Didi Woodson to come back in so we can get her thoughts on that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match. But all right, tag team match. We had another women's match. This was a tag team match. It was Sasha Banks and Bayley squaring off against Emma and Alicia Fox. The winners of the match in 12 minutes and let's see, what do we have for our time here? 12 minutes and 50 seconds to 12 minutes and 58 seconds. Sasha Banks and Bayley actually pick up the win. MF, let's start off with you here. Sasha and Bayley over Emma and Alicia in about 13 minutes or so.
Yeah, this was a very good match. Solid fight. I love the dynamic of Alicia Fox and Emma. I thought they really looked good in the ring together. Bayley and Sasha, you already know what you're going to expect. But there was a little miscommunication. Alicia Fox banged into Emma, and Emma basically took her ball and went home. Actually pulled a Strike Force a la WrestleMania 5. And in the back of my mind, when this moment happened, I was thinking myself and Anthony Florio basically doing the classic WrestleMania 5. Emma's taking a walk, and where the roles are reversed here.
Emma's walking out.
Yeah, and basically, I know you would be like, you would be the Gorilla Monsoon this time around, Florio, while I'm the Jesse the Body Ventura here, where I know you probably would be slamming Emma, saying that that's an unwritten rule in professional wrestling. You don't walk out on your partner, which is true, but rules are made to be broken, my friend. You remember that. But no, this was a good fight. I liked it. About 2.5 stars. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.5 stars as well. I mean, this was a good match, and talking about taking a walk here. I mean, that's what happened here at the end of this match. There's really nothing more to be said on here. I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. So 2.5 stars. Hopefully Didi Woodson's back.
She is.
Oh, she is?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's catch her up on the one thing she did miss.
Yeah, Didi, your thoughts on Roman Reigns and The Miz for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship and the women's tag team match with Sasha Banks and Bayley over Emma and Alicia Fox?
Roman Reigns and The Miz, for me, was the fight of the night. 3.25 stars. Sasha Banks and Bayley, I'm going to give about 1.5 stars. I really don't condone, Emma walking out on that, and not, what I would think that, in my opinion, I think the two matches should be reversed, and that you should have, your better match as your main event. I commend WWE letting the girls have the final match of the night, but it could have been executed a little bit better. I mean, not to say that they didn't go out there and they didn't try, but I don't like shady endings like that. And like I said earlier, we're going to address the elephant in the room here with Miz and them with Roman Reigns, and we pretty much kind of saw Cesaro and Sheamus come back out, and they did the Shield fist bump. So yeah, not much more I had to say about it, so I'll toss it back to you.
I'm sorry, I'm effing Bullock. I got to agree with Didi on this one. It was a 1.5 to 2 star match. It was a flat and boring match. No real drama. Went too long. I mean, it's one thing to get time, but it's another to use it properly. And the heat on Sasha felt like it lasted 2 hours. So, really all I can say on that. So, oh, Lord, for the second week in a row, the Cruiserweights main evented Monday Night Raw. No. Enzo Amore, that annoying little gnat running his mouth about how great he is and the whole 9 yards, yada, yada, yada. I'm the realest guy in the room, borderline G, certified stud. Yeah, whatever. Did his usual nonsense. And then you had all the Cruiserweights show up, Adrian Neville and all them. And then Kurt Angle comes out and announces that Kalisto will now be on 205 Live. And then Kalisto basically took out Enzo. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, do you have any comments on this?
No comment on it. I mean, I'll just say this, Florio, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm starting to get annoyed with Enzo Amore. I mean, I used to like the guy, but now he's becoming, like you said, a nad. And, well, now I think he may end up paying for it because, like you said, now a new cruiserweight is entered in, and his name is Kalisto. So maybe Kalisto will finally shut the mouth of that nad. So, yeah, the only one that's soft around here is you, Enzo Amore. So, call me crazy for saying this, but I think I'm done with him. I can't believe I'm saying it.
You're not the only one, Bullock. The entire WWE locker room feels your sentiment. So,
yeah, we used to like this guy when I'm saying this.
Yeah, him and Cass.
Whenever we do our Raw chat again, Florio, we ain't doing that shtick anymore.
It was fun while it lasted. So, I'll just give you my thought on it. These cruiserweight segments just scream give up on Raw after the second hour main event for far more than watch 205 Live. Don't get me wrong, I like Kalisto joining the cruiserweights. It's a great division, or I should say a great addition. But all of it feels like it's too little too late because the roster of cruiserweights has been so damaged. You also have to wonder how many viewers called it a night when they saw the cruiserweights were in the main event segment again and thus completely missed that little moment backstage with the Shield, which was a nice tease for next week. But I can't help but wish that the company would work harder to explain why the camera was present. Were they just going to close the show with a shot of Roman wincing had the other two not shown up? But I don't know. But I'll give them credit. You can't claim they're going all in and trying with the angle. They gave them the main event segment 2 weeks in a row and gave him a ton of time to run his mouth. Had attempted to get TJP post Cruiserweight Classic or even Neville with this much effort. But anyways, it was a fine closing segment, and I like bringing in a new guy that wasn't involved with the beatdown last week, but the complete apathy when it was Kalisto revealed was sad. I think that when Angle said he signed someone, that the crowd was hoping for a big NXT debut, maybe Hideo Itami. But Kalisto needed something to do, should have been on 205 Live anyway, and will be a fine sacrificial lamb for Enzo to defend the title against. The question is, will this be enough to save 205 Live sinking numbers? Answer, no. Done, finished, MF. Take it for a spin.
Look, I get it. I know why WWE is going down this road. They're trying to make Enzo a big-time heel. And in a way, it's working. I gotta give credit where credit's due. You took one of the most popular guys, and now you've made us despise them to the point that we're basically annoyed. And sometimes WWE can do the right things and they can do the wrong things. And I feel like WWE's they're doing it as a way to try to play off his real life gimmick, and they're giving us that real reveal of what they really think of him. And maybe a blessing in disguise by us not liking him, despising him, making us say go away, and try to make this as a reason why you want to see 205 Live so that you can see him get his butt beat every single week. I mean, all right. I get it. I mean, you need the ratings. You're desperate for anything. To bring Kalisto over there was something that a lot of people were talking about. Fine, whatever. But I gotta say, I think I'm gonna like Enzo as a heel, because the bars he was throwing at some of these cruiserweights tonight were pretty vicious. Some of them were pretty downright wrong. And then you had that one comment where he goes and take a shot at Corey Graves. I know a lot of people on social media kind of were like, oh boy, here we go again. And there's I feel like there's some legit heat between Corey Graves and Enzo Amore. You can sense it. You can feel it. There is some real life backstage problems with these two guys. And I wish Corey Graves did not retire because of concussions. Because right now, I would love to see Corey Graves get back into the ring and fight. Maybe one time against Enzo Amore, because I think that would be I think the fans would love to see that fight happen, but we'll see. I don't know. At the end of the day, yeah, it was what it was. We expected it. It was bland. I could care two craps about Kalisto joining the crew, even though I was a big Kalisto fan. But honestly, what have they done with them since joining Monday Night Raw? Nothing. He was worth 205 Live. They should have put him in there the minute he came from the Superstar shakeup. Other than that, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of patience and a waste of everything. You want to suck the life out of a Monday Night Raw? Boys, you did that and then some tonight. Well done. Stupid idiots. Dee Dee Woodson, if you want to, well, actually, no, she doesn't cover cruiserweight stuff, so the heck with it. Florio, back to you.
Overall Raw review. Didi Woodson, let's start it off with you for the overall reviews. I know you probably got to get going.
Yeah, there's a lot of relevant, a lot of trash in the show tonight. I think everybody would agree, Cruiserweights closing the show out was kind of worthless out, but having at least the announcement of Kalisto somewhat something to look forward to, although you still have people like me who are just not impressed with what the Cruiserweights are able to pull off right now, because they're just being just dragged down to the bottom. They're being lost in the shuffle on Raw. I still think they should have gone to SmackDown. They would have had more of a chance to survive. Like I said, I don't usually cover Cruiserweights, but I do kind of like Enzo as the heel. It's kind of nice because it's all the stuff I've read on him lately, with all the backstage issues he's been going through and everything, and now the Twitter war with Corey and his brother and everything. It's kind of nice to at least see them trying to build up this division, but at the same time, it's so lost in the shuffle on Raw, it's not even funny anymore. The ladies, unfortunately, great thing having Mickie James going into the title picture, but still, it's the ladies have kind of been going back and forth. They're kind of on this rocking boat here, or rocking ship. 1 minute we have some really good matches, really great stuff, and the next minute it's down the toilet. It's almost like right now Sasha Banks with her title reign thing. She can't defend her title. They keep taking it from her right after she gets it on a pay-per-view. They did this before with Charlotte. Now they're doing it with Sasha Banks. Now we have Emma. Miss I started the whole women's revolution, which, okay, I'll give you credit. You were there for it. No, you didn't exactly start it. The one who actually started it was Stephanie McMahon, saying, you all deserve this. And when she said that, it was more than just Emma in the room. So you can't single-handedly put that on anybody. So that little bit there, I'd like to see go away. Alicia Fox, in my opinion, is a woman who is accident-prone. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but Sasha Banks, I think, had a bloody nose or something in the match because of Alicia Fox mouth or something like that. I think Alicia Fox is better off as a manager than a wrestler because she just has a tendency of hurting people. I commend WWE for Dana Warrior segment. I commend them for The Miz and Reigns. That was an awesome match. Balor and Wyatt segment was pretty good. But then you have this crap with Elias Sampson, and that's, to me, Elias is, go home. I'm done with you. I don't want to hear you come out here and sing anymore and trash talk the city you're at and have half the cities cheering you and half the cities booing you and asking for encores and all this crap. I'm done with it. I'm done with that particular guy. I'm done with Strowman beating up everybody in his path. He isn't the unstoppable menace. We've already proven that he can be beat by Brock Lesnar. And now here we're pushing him as the unstoppable menace again. Excuse me. You can't do that. You just had him lose to Lesnar. If he was the Unstoppable Menace, he would have the title right now, not Lesnar. So, Raw, you need to figure out what the heck you're doing, because although there was some pretty good stuff on the show tonight, you writers can't make any sense. Where is the common sense for the show? What is the theme of the show? Are we pushing good guys? Are we pushing bad guys? What are you doing with Strowman? You making him a monster? Undefeatable monster? Well, if you're doing that, don't have him lose to Lesnar. You guys really need to figure out what the heck you're doing, because, I mean, the show's a mess. And this is coming from somebody who's watched since she was 13. My youngest daughter just turned 13. That's the age I started watching this. And in my opinion, the stuff back then is better than some of the crap you're putting out now. I'm going to give you a 5 just because of the fact that there is some relevant stuff in here. But there's a lot of crap you guys need to fix. There's a lot of crap here. I don't know if the guys are going to agree with me on this, but get your heads out of your butt. I'm going to be nice about this. I'm not going to say the cuss word that's going through my mind on it. Get your heads out of your butt. Figure out what the heck you're doing, because none of this makes sense. I'm sitting, I try and take notes, and I'm like, where is this? Where are we going with this? It doesn't make any sense. You have Rollins and Ambrose fighting Strowman, and then all of a sudden now you're throwing in Cesaro and Sheamus, and then you're throwing in The Miz, then you're throwing in Miztourage. So actually, technically, you're going to have 5 guys on 3. And if Maurice wasn't pregnant, then you'd have 6 on 3. So thank goodness she's pregnant and not out there to cause any more issues. Then you have 1 minute Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss hating each other. The next minute, they're best friends again. So we're back to this frenemy thing again that we had with, back with Paige. You're making my brain hurt, people. Fix this, get your heads out of your butts, and start thinking what you want to do with the show, and not just say, okay, we're going to just throw it out there and just let it float. You're sinking. You're sinking fast. If it wasn't for having Dana Warrior segment, having a awesome match with Miz and Reigns, and just there's a few other little things there that was actually relevant, I would have gone even lower than a 5. You're lucky I'm giving you the thumbs in the middle here, because this show, it just no nonsense show. It's just total chaos. So I'm gonna cut it out there before I go on any more of a rant. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully we don't have this kind of total chaos on SmackDown, and we'll see you later. Good night, guys.
All right, Dee Dee, and I think you see on my screen here.
Exactly.
That's who's running Monday Night Raw.
Exactly.
That's the Monday Night Raw creative team right there.
In fact, I think I see Vince back there with the little red tie and the black suit. The only one we're missing, I think, is Triple H, because there's no baldies in there.
No, Triple H is one of the ones who are actually doing something.
Wow.
No, Triple H is the one who's controlling, I think, what's going on with NXT and 205. So he's not really controlling Raw. That would be Stephanie. And there's not anybody in there in a dress either, or unless you want to say that one of those in the business suits is her. But yeah.
Well, with all due respect,
well, you better be lucky, Dee Dee, what's in Triple H isn't hearing what you're saying, because
I could care less. Out of the day I've had today,
you better care, or otherwise you're going to get pedigreed by him.
After the day I've had today, I could care less if WWE Creative hears me tonight or not. All I know is that's exactly what they are. They're a bunch of monkeys that don't know their heads from their rear ends and need to get their brains out of their pants and start really coming up with a show that the fans will enjoy and that people like the four of us can be proud of. I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more people than just us that are probably going to be trying to wrap our heads around what the heck we just watched tonight. Because I'm serious. I didn't see a rhyme or reason to this. I felt like I was watching, one of the kids' TV shows that is pretty stupid. And I know there's a lot of people who are SpongeBob fans, but for me, I lose brain cells when I watch the stupid sponge.
Oh boy, you are about to create a firestorm on the internet tonight, my dear.
I don't give a darn. Hey,
boy, you're gonna have a lot
you are really gonna start a war now. World War III.
Hey guys, answer me this: Is Patrick Star a guy or a girl? Because you've had him dressed as a woman, you've had him dressed as a guy.
I'm not going there
you've had him in these skanky little fishnet hose things, and then you've had SpongeBob himself dressed as a guy or girl. You tell me, how much relevant is that compared to tonight?
You're going to upset a lot of kids who watch that show.
You tell me how that is relevant compared to tonight's Raw. I don't see a difference. Okay? And this is coming from a woman who has a almost 2-year-old grandchild, has raised 5 kids that have watched the stupid show.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, I'm older than the whole panel here, probably by at least 10 years. I don't see this any different from watching a TV show like SpongeBob that is just as stupid. And I know I'm going to piss off a bunch of people, but like I said, after what I've gone through today, I don't give a crap. So
well, you better be careful because somebody might get their shovel and bury you 6 feet under.
I'm gonna say this, and I hate to be, and normally I'm always on your side, Didi. You know I'm always on your side. This is one of those times, baby girl, you went too far. Yeah, I mean you went.
Yeah, you went too far.
I'll even say this. Normally I'm the one that's pushing the envelope, and I'm even here saying, "Oh God, what the heck? You went Cerebral Viper on me." Like you pulled Cerebral Viper.
And after what you just said tonight,
hey, I just went Twisted Angel on all your butts. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, Didi. I have my shovel ready to bury you 6 feet under for going that far.
Hey,
I just may go Undertaker on your ass.
You're still on my list from calling that stupid idiot a goddess.
What?
That's right. Yeah, you better watch yourself, Bullock and Didi.
If you don't remember, Bullock, you called Alexa Bliss a goddess and interrupted me one night, and you're still on the list for that. Fletcher is barely off of the list just because of the fact that Alexa lost that night and he didn't get to rub in my face that she was a goddess. So I think you guys need to kind of watch it on that because, hey, for one,
I got my shovel ready to go.
For one, I'm your elder.
That's right.
Respect your elders. I'm your elder.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm done. I'm out of here. You guys can rant on me all you want if you want. I don't care. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, Didi. And I couldn't agree with you more, by the way. I couldn't agree with you more.
Which part?
All of it. So, you're absolutely spot on. I mean, and you see my photo right there. That's who's running Monday Night Raw. And that mutton head up front, that's Vinnie Mac. And I think the one in the dark suit's Kevin Bucktooth Beaver Dunn. And whoever the other 2 guys are, well, there's just a couple of random Johnny Come Latelys on the spot. So, yeah. So,
Sounds good.
Yep, and there's I got one place you all can go to, Nerdocrumbizia. That's where you all belong. All expenses paid. I want to send all of you on an all expenses paid trip to Nerdocrumbizia. Put you all in a box, like Shawn Michaels and Triple H when DX, when they buried the Spirit Squad. I think when they sent them back to OVW, let's get these idiots in a box and send them to Nerdocrumbizia.
Well, Florio, I gotta say this right now. I mean, I'm watching the Buried Alive pay-per-view right now, and Dee Woodson better be careful with how far she goes, or she may end up buried alive.
You better watch yourself, boy. That's all I'm saying. Watch yourself.
Hey, I ain't afraid.
I haven't
got my
left
shovel.
Yet. I haven't left yet.
Well, I still got my shovel.
Might have wanted to wait there, Bullock. Dee hasn't left yet. And
I don't care if you want to bury me alive or not. I could still take you out behind the woodshed and teach some manners, boy.
yes.
Because remember, I'm a lot older than you are. I'm a lot wiser than you are. I've been around a lot longer than you have.
I'm older than you too,
and trust me, I have been through more crap than probably all three of you put together in 44 years.
Hey, I've had my share of it too, Dee.
Oh yeah, we've all had crap, but I guarantee you, I've probably had quite a bit that you guys probably. I know Fletch don't even know half of the crap I've been through my life. So hey, I'm a cop.
I can tell you about the
I'm a
creative
cop's
team.
I'm a cop's daughter.
Well, the creative team. You want to know what happens when you create crappy shows like this?
C4.
Huh?
Yeah.
C4 bombing material.
No. You want to know what happens when they do stupid shows like this?
I think we know.
WWE creative team. You just make the list.
Yeah, the stupid idiots and mutton heads.
Okay, I'm gone. Bye.
All right, Dee, we'll see you tomorrow night for.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's just get through this, guys. That's basically my point right there. That's who's running Monday Night Raw nowadays. So
yeah, bunch of freaking chimpanzees.
This was wow. Yeah, this escalated really quick. Look, I'll say this. Was it a bad show of Raw? Absolutely. No doubt about it. Thank you, Raw. You just gave us a lot of ammunition to work with for SmackDown Live. But the thing that really kind of annoys me is that you got all this talent, this roster of all the biggest names, and yet this is the product you give us? I mean, you got Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, all three members of the Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. You got that. You got The Miz. You got Finn Balor. You got Bray Wyatt. This is the most deepest roster you got on WWE, and you can't even give us a quality Monday Night Raw? And now on top of that, you got literally the best women on the roster too, with Nia Jax, Emma, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Sasha. And you couldn't even deliver on that front either. Okay, well, Nay, let me disregard that because I think the women tag team fight was actually pretty good. But that's the exception to the rule. But still, I don't know why. I don't know if there's politics or just people just don't know what on earth they're doing over there, or if it's just that the quality of writing on Raw is so much more lacking than it is on SmackDown Live. But even for me, I'm kind of like shaking my head here. I can only give this maybe a 4 out of 10. And maybe I'm being generous with that. I don't know. I guess if you want to see some good shows, come back here tomorrow night on the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we'll talk about a real show in SmackDown Live.
What did Fletcher give for a rating for the show?
He gave it a 4 out of 10.
Huh?
He gave it a 4 out of 10.
Well, you want to know what? I'm actually going to go lower than that. I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 10. I mean, yeah, you had some good segments and some good matches, but this show was just totally lacking tonight. Ugh. I mean, it almost made me want to freaking. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't see this. I would have crapped all over the show tonight. And you want to know what I'll say? The Monday Night Football match was even better than this Monday Night Raw.
Anyways,
yeah, that's all I gotta say on it, because I'm not in the mood to go on any rants, especially after the events that went down today.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood for it, so
we're gonna do something special on the shout outs for that in just a moment. So both girls said I'll just take it here. I'm more with Dee Dee's rating. 5 to 5.25, maybe teetering on 5.5. The stuff with Strowman versus Rollins and the bar attack, as well as the Reigns mismatch and post-match angle, were all really good TV. Easily the best stuff on the show. Much like the Rollins Ambrose reunion, they're doing a great job in building to the full Shield reunion. The main event angle with Enzo and the 205 Live guys was okay, with the rest of the show largely existing and sometimes being very, very bad. And show dragged again, particularly in the third hour. So the only thing that's announced for next week is that that there's going to be Miz TV with The Bar, Cesaro, Sheamus. So yeah, just like Dee Dee said, I mean, come on, Raw, we got to wake up here. I mean, we were putting together some solid and newsworthy shows. No Mercy was incredible. And then the last couple of weeks, oh my God, what is going on here? Crap shows for 2 weeks in a row. Oh, Lord help me. That's all I can say. So you know what? We're just gonna wrap it up here. We're just gonna move on to my Tony's take here, but this will be much more positive. I'll tell you that right now. Let's see here, 205 Live. You know, we had the 205 Live. Featuring. We were wondering what was going to happen. What was going to happen with the Enzo Amore stuff and the whole 9 yards. And here we go. We had the Enzo segment to start the show, and other cruiserweights came out and the whole 9 yards. Good follow-up to Monday Night Raw with Enzo fully embracing the heel role, believes what he's saying, and feels completely justified in his actions. And then we had Akira Tozawa against Tony Nese. Akira Tozawa wins it, 8 minutes and 3 seconds. It's good, fun, and high energy opening bout. Both guys look good. Then we had Adrian Neville against Ariya Daivari. Neville wins it, 5 minutes, 13 seconds, 2 stars. Solid, but was more about Enzo screwing with Neville and setting up the post-match beatdown. The beatdown was good, and they may really be onto something with the Enzo and Neville double turn. I just hope that Neville keeps that edge that has been such a great part of his character. Out of 10, very much enjoyed the show. They played off of last night's angle. They played off of Monday night's angle really well with Enzo's opening promo and main event segment. To the undercard feuds, Alexander and Gallagher, TJP and Swan, Tozawa and Gulak. So, so that's all I can say on that. So well done. I don't know what they have on tap for this week's 205 Live, but we'll find out soon enough. All right, now on to Impact Wrestling. The Victory Road Show. That's what we had. I mean, very promising show. So without any further ado, let's get into that. Just give me a moment to get my information here. Okay. And this was another good show too. We started off with the X Division Championship match. Trevor Lee defending against Petey Williams. Winner and still X Division champion Trevor Lee. 8 minutes and 17 seconds, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match here. They worked well together, but the interference took away from the hard work in the ring. Take that away, and I think we have a much better match. I still appreciate them kicking off the show with a largely fun match as it set the tone for the show. 6 knockout tag match: Gail Kim, Rosemary, and Allie against Taya, Valkyrie, Taryn Terrell, and Sienna. The heel team, Taya, Taryn, and Sienna win it. 9.5 minutes. 2.5 stars. Perfectly solid 6-woman tag, which I felt was derailed by the commercial break, really hurting the momentum. The issues between the 6 are far from resolved, and the feuds will continue to make the division pretty interesting. And then we had an in-ring segment with James Storm. EC3 came out, and then Tejano and Fantasma from AAA. All hell breaks loose. Good segment to continue the budding AAA GFW feud. Storm and EC3 aren't friends, but more like reluctant allies in a relationship of convenience to protect their company and even the odds. If they book it right, it could work. And next week, on this week on Impact Wrestling, James Storm and EC3 will score off against El Hijo del Fantasma and Tejano. So, should be interesting. Tag team titles on the line: LAX against OVE. Winners of the match in 12 and 4 seconds. GFW Tag Team Champions, OVE, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good match that got better after the break, which lasted a bit too long. It felt like a really anticlimactic way to end LAX's title run. I'm still not really sold on OVE, but we'll see what happens. And then the main event of the evening for the GFW Global Championship, Eli Drake and Johnny Impact. Winner of the match in 25 minutes and 27 seconds, and still the GFW Global Champion, Eli Drake. I was going to give this a high rating. I really was. But because of the typical Impact Wrestling finish, which features referee bumps and outside interference, I can only give it 3 stars. I was going to give this about 4 to 4 1/4, but this was 3. Really, really enjoying the match. These two already have a great chemistry, and they were working extremely well together. But between the long commercial breaks, totaling about 8 minutes, the interference, and the ref bumps, it all took away from what I felt was on its way to a really great match and the best on Impact in a long time. Eli Drake is carrying himself very well in the ring as champion, and it's a notable change in the attitude and tone of his work. I don't care about spoilers, and they are surely going somewhere with it, but I just don't get it. You give him the title, you give him the big chance, and instead of doing something with him, instead of trying to make him a different style of heel, he comes off as every other generic heel in wrestling doing the same old song and dance. Sometimes heels just win, and sometimes they can be low-key sneaky. It's 2017, and the industry as a whole is so stuck in their ways and refusing to adapt. Damn it, dare to be different. I mean, Jesus. I mean, dare to be different. Make them special. And, give them that chance. I mean, make him special and make this chance he took with him really something special. I want the man to succeed. That's not an insult. That's just a fact of life, man. Yeah. But you got to do something different with him. 6 3/4 out of 10. The show had a ton of potential, but for various reasons, the company just has an issue putting on a complete show. They continue to do some things well. They have good ideas, but they're just not coming together right now. The show continues to be really solid. There was nothing bad, and I feel that they're really close to putting it all the pieces together. Hopefully, it happens on the road to Bound for Glory. I really want this company to get it together and thrive. I really do. This is what we got for Impact Wrestling for this week. Eli Drake and Chris Adonis. They're going to celebrate Drake's win. And we'll see how that goes. Chris Adonis will have a match against Garza Jr. Some stupid segment with Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park and Grado. Sanjay Dutt, Matt Sydal, and Petey Williams against Trevor Lee, Caleb Connolly, and Andrew Everett. 6-man tag. An in-ring segment with Sienna. That's going to turn into something with the women. OVE against John Bolin and Trey Miguel. El Hijo del Fantasma and Tejano against EC3 and James Storm. And then this stupid Joseph Park segment, which actually might turn into something interesting. You might want to tune into that one. Something, from what I'm reading here, something very interesting just came out of it. Oh boy, I can't wait to see this if it's true. So that all goes down on Thursday. So that's it, guys. Ridiculously Raw for this week is in the books. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. MF Bullock and I, we have very special shout outs coming up, especially for the victims and the families who were affected by the heinous events in Las Vegas. I see MF's mic is off, so MF, take it for a spin, and I'll get our special shout out ready.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there for watching the show. And as crazy as it is, you guys are awesome. You guys are the best. You guys already know that. To the super fans out there, you guys know who you guys are. My friends in the junior high school days, you guys know who you guys are. 2184 crew, you guys know who you guys are. As far as what happened in Vegas, my thoughts and prayers are with the families who have lost loved ones. Could be sons, daughters, husbands, wives. There's 59 as of right now. And we don't know if that number could rise. It very much could. We don't know for sure. There was over almost 300 people that were affected and injured, from minor to severe in all different ranges. And we got to think about them as well. I also want to give a big shout out and a huge thank you to the first responders, to the fire, the police, to even everyday people who did what they could do as part of trying to save lives for these people and whatnot. And what they did was absolutely commendable and needs to be loved, appreciated, and a huge tip of the cap. Some from as far as Rhode Island, some as far as other states, even probably from other parts of the world, because you know how Vegas is such a tourist attraction. But humanity won on this one. What really is the shocker, and that needs to be put into perspective, is that this was one of our own, an American that did this. Not a terrorist, not from ISIS, not from Al Qaeda. This was an American, a 64-year-old American that did this. And what needs to be thought about is the way we think, the way we have to react, and to say that this could happen anywhere in the world and that we need to be more vigilant, more aware of everything we do from now on. I think it was one of those where it left us in shock, it left us in anger, it left us with a whole bunch of different feelings and moods and everything else. And for what happened and what we saw, it's now more than ever apparent that we need to come together. And I'm not talking about, it's really more that we need to be united. It's the rhetoric, the hostility, all this negativity that's going on in this world. It comes to a point when enough is enough. I think we're at that point now. It's no longer a racial thing. It's no longer a biblical thing. It's no longer anything that matters. It's no longer a white, black, Latino, Asian, any race, any creed, any sexual orientation. It has to stop. It comes to a point where enough is enough. And I think more than anything else, you know, they always talk about gun control and everything else. No. Look. Guns, yes, they are one of the reasons why, but it's the people themselves. Their demeanor, their attitudes, what they do is what causes these type of incidences to happen. And talk about gun control and the whole 9 yards, but it's really, it goes more deeper than that. And that's the worst thing. We've been through so much, from school shootings of little children to a college level to now we can't even go to movies anymore, fearing that something bad's going to happen, like it happened in Colorado, to now concerts are being affected. And this is not the first time we heard about a concert that got attacked. Manchester, England, Ariana Grande, and now this, when Jason Aldean was performing outside of Mandalay Bay last night. It has to be a moment that we have to come together and as one voice, one nation, we have to say enough is enough. I give all the credit and all the love to everybody who's coming out, who's stepping up, donations from a GoFundMe page, So far, I think there's been like a few thousand, like hundreds of thousands of dollars that's been raised up to this point, and I'm expecting that to hit the millions very soon. To the people that's going out there, that's donating blood, God bless you guys. You deserve all the love, all the admiration. Go out of your way. Go to a local hospital. Go to a hospital, to the American Blood Center, and donate blood if you can. There's, if you get turned away, go to another center that will accept it. I know all kinds of bloods donations are probably going to get taken, especially now. Whatever you can do, just be out there, help out any way that we can give anything. I appreciate what you guys have done. There's nothing more for me to say. I feel like tonight I shouldn't really give no, that's not what I mean. I mean, for future content, I'm not gonna lay it out tonight, because I feel like I would do a disservice to do that. I feel like tonight it should be about Vegas. It should be about the people. It should be about them, not us. Like I said, we're thinking about the families that have been affected. The people who's injured, we wish you a speedy recovery. The ones who are going to probably be there a little more longer, your thoughts and prayers are with us. But I feel like now more than ever, the divisiveness that's been plaguing our country, from the the protests from the NFL and all these other sports, and the divisiveness from the rhetoric from media from the United States, if it's from NBC or CBS or ABC or Fox or CNN. I think now more than ever, it has to end. And more than ever, we need to unite as one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Exactly. That was the motto of the forefathers that was created by that Constitution back in 1776 in Philadelphia. So I feel like there's really nothing more for me to add here, because I feel like there's just nothing more to say. Mike Bullock.
There is just one thing before we move on. MF, is it 10 or 10:30 for tomorrow night? Just that out of the way.
It will be 10:30. Yeah, there's nothing more for me to add.
Okay. Yep. And you know what? I feel we should just save the rest of our shout out, our original shout. We'll save those for Friday night when we do the NFL show. Michael Bullock, if you have a quick thought you want to add, and then we're going to do something very unprecedented on the history of this show. We're going to do something we've never done before. And Michael Bullock, do you have any thoughts before we do our unprecedented event here?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea just to save our shout-outs for Friday night. I mean, this is just not the time to be doing it with what's been going on. Yeah, this has been a tragic day for everybody here in the U.S. I mean, especially with what just happened in Vegas, and And quite frankly, and it wasn't that long ago that my mom and her sister and some of her friends, they actually went to Vegas for a wedding for my aunt. So I can honestly can't imagine how they must feel after what just happened. And my mom has some relatives that are actually in Vegas right now. But the good news I can report is that they're fine.
Right.
They were actually in the hotel at the time, and they were in lockdown when the whole shooting took place. I mean, it, like Fletcher just said, this was no terrorist attack. This was an American person that did this at a Jason Aldean concert. I mean, like you said, 59 people are dead, 527 people are injured. That death toll, I think, is going to rise. It's just sad what's going on here in this world. I mean, now I could say it's not even safe to even hang out at Vegas after what just happened here. But definitely thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the families and loved ones who are affected by this tragedy. And yeah, I mean, this is probably the worst shooting in U.S. history. I mean, I just I can't imagine. I mean, Las Vegas will never be the same again after this. Yeah, I mean, it always was a fun place to go to, and now it's not anymore after what just occurred. And I think we need to unite as one to put an end to the use of guns, especially to those who have mental health problems. Because if you put the guns in the hand of someone who has problems mentally, that's always a recipe for trouble. But hopefully we can unite as one, not only to put a stop to this, but to help bring Vegas back to what it was before the horror that occurred last night. Thoughts and prayers to everybody affected by Las Vegas. We love you, and you will be, and I'm going to say this, you will be Vegas strong. I got nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
We're about to do something very unprecedented in the history of this show. We're going to do something we've never done before. And I know MF and Bullock. I know there are times where we don't agree on things, but I know we're all going to be in agreement on this. I know we're not all in the same room right now, but figuratively, I want to say let's join hands right now. We're going to pray for Las Vegas right here and now. I'm going to lead us in a special prayer for Las Vegas right here and right now. And we hope you all out there are watching this, and we want you to know this is for you. So this is a special prayer for Las Vegas. Lord God, we awoke to another city that will now be known as an event rather than a place. We greet the day grateful in the knowledge that this very day you are present and sovereign. But we are also dismayed by the actions of a fellow human being. Another city struggles to respond to suffering, death, and inexplicable violence. Las Vegas is now added to the ever-growing list of towns and cities, nightclubs, schools, concerts, and offices where we count lives lost, people injured, and those forever left asking, why? Prince of Peace, you promised to bless and comfort those who mourn. Draw near to those for whom last night marked the end of life as they once knew it. Support the injured and the grieving. Surround them with people who will walk with them today and in the many difficult days ahead. Grant strength to the first responders who enter into the carnage and pain to bring relief. Make all of us tireless advocates for systems that help prevent tragedies, care for the vulnerable, and uphold the weak. Holy Spirit, advocate and comforter, be unmistakably present in Las Vegas as you bring healing, hope, strength, and community. May the light of Christ shine brighter than the neon strip even during this dark season. May the water of life flow through the parched places in the desert and throughout our nation. May the love of God have the resounding, last, life-giving word, and may we amplify it in our words and in our lives. Amen. Pray for Vegas.
Amen.
Pray for Vegas for such a time as this, a God-sized dream. But most importantly, rise above hate. For Girl MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, and the hardcore pipe bomb himself, Falcon Striker 445, Derek Ferreira. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio. Good night. God bless. And now more than ever, be good to each other. Until tomorrow night, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you have been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on Tone 25 on YouTube.com. For now, Anthony Florio. So long, and please continue to pray for Las Vegas for such a time as this.